Good morning, Lafayette. This is your weatherman, Brian Burden, here again on Friday, February 20th, again at 9 o'clock. I apologize for not being here yesterday. Had doctor's appointments, all kinds of different things going on yesterday. So today we're going to kind of get back into it. Wednesday, we were talking about a system moving into the area, into the local Lafayette area, and that changes were going to happen, weren't they? We were going to have a nice up and down period. I talked about the through the end of February, basically, and into March, and then it's already starting to kind of look like spring, and it would be warm, and then it would be cold, and it would be warm, and it'd be cold. And sure enough, we're gonna kind of anchor out and push out the warm weather and anchor in the cold air into our area for a few days now before the warm returns again next week. It looks like, at least that's on the long range when you're looking at that kind of thing there. So that's it. So, what do we have today? Well, obviously, you've woken up this morning and you're probably hearing your windows move around a little bit. It is windy outside. This was expected. It's not like it's out of the ordinary here. We were expecting this after the system went through, and that the severe weather would stay to the south, which it did. Not much for us up here. And I'm way up on the north side of town, so I didn't hear hardly anything happen yesterday, weather wise, for any severe weather or thunderstorms. It was all down towards Bloomington, back over into Illinois for most of the severe weather yesterday. That doesn't mean we haven't had some trees knocked down from the wind, because it has been rather gusty. That is for sure. But generally speaking, it's just going to get colder, and it's windy, and there's bad wind chills out there again this morning. I mean, bad compared to, we were up to 70 degrees in the last couple of days, right? And we were in the 60s each day too, just about. So we were hovering right at some great temperatures, and here we are just 36 hours later, and it's going to be back down to like 25 degrees tomorrow morning, that kind of thing. We'll get into the numbers here in a little bit, but what a change can happen so quickly when you are moving through and pushing into spring. Spring is the volatile time frame, but early to late winter, right? So early winter, you're kind of getting off of the volatility of the fall. Not as volatile as April, but still an up and down period. But then in early winter, a lot of times you can still see some of that up and down. And then in late winter, you can still see some of the up and down as we approach and pull in the volatility of the spring time frame. So let's get into some of this stuff. Let's start talking about some of the things that you want to talk about. That is for sure right now. What do we have going on? Where are we going to be getting it from? And what is the exact weather going to be like? I'm going to try to bring it to you here in the next hour. How's that? Would you like that? I'm sure you probably would. It is 33 degrees outside right now. Cloudy skies, of course, and it feels like 4 with the wind chill, because the winds are up 24 miles an hour sustained at 24. So we're probably seeing gusts in the 35 to maybe even 40 range at times here this morning. But the high will be only 37, as it says on the old MSN chart here, with a low of 23, which would be tomorrow morning. Then we're staying in the 30s to 20s for a few days, and then there's a warm up next Wednesday that we can start to think about. So we were warm for a few days. Now we're going to go cold, back to cold. The 20s are below normal. These 30s are kind of closer to normal, and then we're back into the 50s, where we'll be far above normal later in the period. What did transpire the last couple of days? Well, here we go. When we were on, let's see, this was Wednesday. We thought we might hit 70. The official temperature at the airport was 69. So I'm sure a couple of you saw 70 degrees out there. That was back on Wednesday. And then yesterday, we saw, and it's kind of, jumps back and forth. We saw a high temperature of 64 and a low of 43 off and on through the day yesterday. And then today we're expecting, as this says, a high of 39. We may have already hit the high already. Just to give you an idea, we're going to rebound a little bit this afternoon, but will we get back up to 39 or 40 like where we were around midnight last night? Hard to say. And then tomorrow morning, 22 they're looking for. So, and the historical low is 24. So that's not very far off from what we normally would see this time of the year anyway. So that's what you're seeing, at least on those fronts. Now, as you can see, there are 2 weather alerts out of right now. And the one that affects us, of course, right here is the wind advisory, which is in effect till 6 o'clock this evening. West winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 45 expected, and portions of central eastern Indiana. I don't need to tell you all that, but that's from 8 o'clock this morning till 6 o'clock this evening. Impacts, of course, gusty winds will blow around unsecured objects, tree limbs could be blown down, and a few power outages may result. If those winds are coming in due west, the interstate's running that way. I don't know if we're quite strong enough to knock over semis. I don't think we are, but generally speaking, you got to get above 50 for that. But it's something to keep in mind throughout the area and throughout happens a lot more in different open spots, and I-65 north of Lafayette all the way up to Chicago is pretty open. Lots of cornfields around, wind turbines out and about, but the wind can get pretty stronger or much stronger in those areas because of the wide openness. It's kind of like being on a river or a lake that's wide open. The ocean, there's nothing there to stop the wind, so it just keeps building and building, right? Same kind of thing out in the cornfields with there's no cities, there's no woods, there's nothing to knock the wind down itself. It will stay up stronger there 5 or 10 knots more a lot of times than you'll see in town at times. But windy conditions throughout the day today, all the way till this evening. What does it look like out on those roads right now? Well, there you go. Here's a picture up on the 43 at 65 right now. So see if we go back up towards Rensselaer, and there you go. Looks pretty nice. Visibilities are unrestricted. We see some low cloud cover. You can see that pretty easily through here. You can see the dark patches and some of the lighter patches. Traffic's moving pretty easy on both spots right now. And we go back a little farther to the south down to 26 and 25 here. There's 26 looking really nice. Just the same thing. Low cloud cover you see just about everywhere. And out of low cloud cover, when it gets cold, we could always see a flurry or two. And that is going to be kind of in the forecast a little bit later. Not today, really. Today's just kind of a gloomy, cloudy day. If there is anything out there, it'll be very minimal at the best right now. And then you head down towards Frankfort. And down towards Frankfort, you start to see some of that. Here's on top of the bridge at Frankfort. So there's some of the cameras that you can pick up in the area. Let's take a look in town real fast, too. Up on the northwest side of town. There you go. Look at that. Traffic's good. Visibility, same thing. Low clouds. You can pick them out very easily on the chart. What else? How about down towards the mall? The mall right now, somebody's zipping their Jeep right through there. No look at the clouds, but we can see that the visibility is good. Roads are dry. That's good, too. So everything looking good, at least on the front locally right now, despite the strong gusty winds that are out there. So let's take a look at the big picture. All right. The big picture says this. It says we are going to see cloudy conditions, and it is going to stay that way for at least a little while this afternoon. All right. That is what we're going to be encountering at least as of right now. That's what we're going to be seeing. All right. So the cloudy skies will rotate around this low pressure system, which is up over Lake Michigan. Lafayette being right here at the end of the cursor right now. The entire eastern half of the United States is clearing out nicely as the system that went through last night is already over here on the eastern half of basically the United States, pushing into New Jersey and New York already over there is what we are seeing, at least with that front. And what we are seeing with that, kind of full screen type of thing that we're seeing of the big picture of what's actually happening around is exactly what we will be seeing over the next 24 to 36 hours, which is pretty decent weather, but kind of gloomy with some of the clouds today and then starting to clear out. It's nice and open over Ohio right now. The Gulf states look good. If you're going on a cruise or anything like that, you may run into something along those lines, and you may be able to see that pretty easily too. So all right. So, when you kind of go through things and you talk about things and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I wonder how this is going to work, and what are we going to see, and what are we going to be able to do on a daily basis when it comes to weather, and how am I going to be able to show things to you? And I scan down, I look at my picture, and I see that you're not seeing any of my full pictures for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, but I'll keep going at it and try to figure it out as we're talking and as we're going through some of these charts of what I'm actually seeing. Why it's doing it that way, I am not sure at the moment, but I've kind of gone through each one so far, and each one will not pan over, but you have the main picture of me for some reason. Why is that, I wonder? I could come up with all kinds of different ideas, but generally speaking, it just looks like there's some kind of problem with being able to go full screen today, which is an annoyance because that is what I do, correct? All right, so I'm looking at a satellite picture to give you an indication. Would be nice if I could show you the satellite picture. Let's give it a couple seconds here. Let's try to figure this out. What's the transition problem? Where's the main screen there? Okay, full screen. Let's go to main. All right. That's me, of course. Then we go back to the full screen. We see all these things on here. I can see it. I move over, it shows it there, but it doesn't come up on YouTube. I wonder why that is. It's only got the main shot right now popping up on there. So let me go back to live streaming real quick. And what does it show? Doesn't show much of anything, does it? Shows the same thing. I still see the same end shot. I still see that. All right, guys, I'm just going to try to muddle through it today. This means the show may be a little bit shorter because I don't have a lot of stuff to show you if I can't show it to you on a chart. I can talk about it, which is okay, but it's not the same, is it? All right, so there's a low pressure system up over Lake Michigan. It's rotating around, bringing some clouds down and through the area. And we're going to see those off and on throughout the day today. And I kind of just showed you a bunch of the cameras, which you didn't get to see, but the cameras would show clear on the ground. Visibility is okay. Everybody's flying good, and clouds up above, which are the low clouds. And yes, we could see a flurry or two out of those occasionally during the day. But generally speaking, nothing's really going to come of most of these clouds. That it'll be a little bit longer out in the forecast. Now, when I go to the forecast pages, the first thing I was going to do was go to winds. And right now it shows that we should be somewhere right around 35 knots. And there's a big pocket of 40s over Illinois. And as we rotate through the day, it kind of brushes to our north. Looks like more of the folks up near Rensselaer have a chance of getting into that. But still, we're talking 40 to 50 miles an hour in isolated spots today throughout northern Indiana and the northern half of Illinois also, with the strongest winds right now being out in Illinois. Then they taper off this afternoon into this evening, and then we go pretty just back to kind of normal winds after that. Direction speed right now is almost due west for Lafayette, and that will help just bring in some of the cold as we do that. When I go and I look at precipitation, there's just not much there. The model shows everything up near the lake potentially, but towards the end of the period, when we get into Saturday into Sunday, we start to see some of these lake effect showers coming back down, snow shower potential for us on Saturday night into Sunday morning. And again, these are always streaky and hit and miss, where you will see them go through spots where 5 miles gets just a little dusting of snow, and then another 5 miles gets nothing, just a flurry or two. And then up by the lake, though, they get inches of snow up there, right? As a matter of fact, let me take a look at it. Showing about 2 to 3 inches of snow up in portions of northern Indiana and southern Michigan from the light snow on Saturday night into Sunday morning. For us, a dusting at best, it looks like 1/10 of an inch in a couple spots. So that's what you're going to see, at least on that front. When I go into temperatures, let's see what the temperatures are. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly this morning since I can't show you the charts. All right, so there we have our temperatures in the 30s this morning, and maybe topping out somewhere around 36, 37 this afternoon. It's not a big dependence on sunshine today. We've got cloud cover. We know it's going to be there. It's just strong gusty winds, and I see a pocket of cold coming in from the northwest on my chart right now. So that's what I'm seeing, at least at this point, is there's temperatures bottled up now in the Dakotas and Minnesota, and those will be trying to push their way back in here now that we've knocked the warmth out that we saw this week, and we've gone back into a cold period. The highs tomorrow, you're still talking mid-30s, it looks like, to upper 30s. And then, boy, the high on Sunday could be pretty chilly again, still somewhere right around, say, 30 to 32 degrees. So we're not looking at very warm temperatures at all for at least the next few days and anytime in the foreseeable future. And the NAM shows the same thing. I'm seeing lots of 20s and 30s here. And then when I go on to Monday or Tuesday, there's just no rebound yet at that point. It looks like it's going to be middle to late next week before we see any kind of rebound. Temperature wise from where we're going to be dropping here the next couple of days. Matter of fact, it does look like Tuesday we're back into the mid 30s, maybe even 40. And then by Wednesday, we're trying to push 40 again. Maybe Wednesday afternoon, we're going to, maybe up to 50 degrees on Wednesday afternoon. So there you go. There's your rebound. So you're going to put up hits Friday. Now you're going to put up a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. at normal or below normal temperatures, at least for this time of the year. And then as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, it's going to warm back up again based on what I'm looking at right now. And the GFS says more of the same. And as you go farther out with the GFS to the end of next week, very warm temperatures next Saturday. There's a system that comes in and boom, reinforces the cold again by next Sunday, which is March 1st. And we have cold weather again. So it's kind of this 4 or 5 days of warm, 4 or 5 days of cold, 4 or 5 days of warm. That's the kind of pattern we're in right now. That continues into early March. Still some cooler temperatures all the way to the 6th. And then the 6th into the 7th starts to try to warm up pretty good. So there's the trends up and down through this. And it's about a 3 to 4 or 5 day cycle there. We'll be staying pretty consistent with that. I doubt we'll see a lot of change. These are just the trends, right, of what we're looking at currently. So there you go. You're going to see the ups and downs in temperatures. Now, let's pop back in. I'm going to look at some of the precipitation charts real quick here because I want to see what's going to be going on front wise when I look out at the long range forecast. Well, nothing really happening early on. Our next big storm looks like it wants to come in. Nope, there's a couple little fringe systems that bounce to our north middle of next week, reinforce that cold. Okay, the system on Wednesday night, it could be something we'll have to watch. It's coming in from the northwest, which really isn't your severe weather maker, but it does look like it could tap into some of the weather to the south. So that's Wednesday into Thursday next week. We'll watch that one. Then high pressure again in control, and no big systems, no huge systems anywhere. I'm just kind of quickly going through each day here on this and then explaining it to you. Tuesday, March 3rd, I see a big system pop up to our south, and that one is tapped into the southern moisture, but it stays south of us right now. That's Wednesday, March 4th. So Tuesday into Wednesday, it looks like on that one. And that's it. So no big storm makers anywhere. A lot of ups and downs with temperatures with fringy type systems moving through over the next week to 2 weeks. I wish I could show you some pictures. I'm not sure why I can't show you some pictures. But that being said, we'll move on to out of the weather portion, which isn't any fun for me because I can't show you all the cool stuff. I want to show you the satellite, then zoom in on the satellite and show you all those things. I'll try to figure out what's up with this thing, why the OBS is doing that. But for some reason, I'm only getting my picture out to the YouTube. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if you can hear me. Yep, you can hear me. So I can hear myself. Because I've set myself up on my phone so I know whether I'm getting out, but I see that I'm just a static picture right now. So I apologize for that. So let me take a quick drink here. Shout out to my sponsor, Beverage Bay. I don't know. That would be Family Express. That's where I go usually. And my top-notch place to go is Murphy USA. Murphy, you want to send me some kind of sponsorship? I'm up for that. All right. Okay, so game day information. There is a big ball game tonight. Big time. How big is it? It is Indiana. Rivalry night, basketball-wise. They took it to Purdue down at in Indy, down in Bloomington. What was it, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. They were right in the middle of that stretch where they lost those 3 games. And Indiana took advantage, did a great job, played a good ball game. And if I remember, it was a pretty tough-nosed game there. It was and Purdue lost that one. But tonight, they're coming to Mackey. Now, normally we'd say, Mackey, you can't win in Mackey, but Purdue's lost 3 times already this year in Mackey. That being said, all 3 of those teams are in the top 10. All right. So, it is what it is. Top teams come in and play good. Purdue's done the same thing. Nobody said anything when Purdue went into Nebraska and won, right? Or went down to Alabama and won, or went to different places and wins, right? Because they're a top-notch team. So don't be surprised when the number 1 Michigan team comes in and wins a ball game in your house, because it just happens, even if you are a very, very good team as Purdue is. All right, so the game time tonight, 8 o'clock, Mackey Arena. What are we looking at? Well, the temperature is going to be right around 32, 33, still a bit windy, so your wind chills are probably going to be around 20. So bundle up when you go out there. When you get out, it's going to be like 31, but maybe a couple knots less of wind, so still talking wind chill of 15 to 20, we'll call it. Wind chills right now are like 0 to 10, depending on where you're at. All right. And where that wind is the strongest. I think it's a bit lower up to the north and it's a bit higher to the south, just for give you indications. and we're going to stay in that 0 to 10 range this morning, and then this afternoon it'll slowly start edging itself back up, and then by this evening at the ball game, make sure you got your heavy jacket on and you're protected at least from the wind. For me, I'm one of those guys who likes it cold. Having been to Antarctica a bunch of times, who would have thought, right? Just a light jacket to keep the wind off of me is enough for me when it gets to temperatures like this. I don't have too much of a problem. You might be different. Take precautions if you need to. Well, where's the game going to be played? It's on Fox. We get to watch it tonight. Woohoo! None of this Peacock stuff. All right, Peacock, you need to make it easier for people to get to it. All right, so television tonight. It says Gus Johnson, Steve Smith, and Allison Williams will be on the play-by-play. Of course, radio and the Purdue Global Radio Network with Rob Blackman and Bobby Rydell will be on store for tonight. Purdue is 21-5. Believe it or not, Indiana hasn't had a great season, yet they're still 17-9, and they are 8-7 in the Big Ten. So it's not like they're a bad team. It seems like they can't quite get it together. When you start spending money on teams and drawing money into teams to bring players in there, you're not sure what you're going to get. You're hoping for what happened to Michigan. Michigan brought these players in, and boom, they all gelled. Look how great they are. So far at Indiana, they tried it a couple times, and they haven't been able to get it over the hump, right? Looks like they got all these great players, but they don't gel well. The coach maybe can't get them together. I'm not saying anything against the coach. I'm just saying sometimes guys just don't gel together, and they're not the guys you want that work out for your team. And sure enough, probably Indiana will lose some of these guys this year and bring some more in. Purdue will do the same thing. We'll lose a couple guys, and then we'll bring in a couple maybe because Purdue's not as big on the bringing people in as some of these other teams. Like some of them wholesale check out 5, 6, 7 guys, right? 5, 6, 7 leave, 5, 6, 7 come in. That's rough on a team like that. But Michigan found a way so far this year to have them guys play together really well. Well, Indiana has not been able to do that. Let's hope tonight they're befuddled themselves and struggle with it too, because it is in Mackey Arena, facing Indiana in the middle contest of a 3-game homestand. All right. Now, when we looked at the 5 games, which was the 2 on the road, the 3 at home, and it was a gauntlet of teams playing all really good teams, we were hoping for 4-1, right? A lot of people I saw out there thought they were going to go 2-3. Well, they won the first 2 games already. So they're 2-1 on that 5-game stint. If they can win here and then beat Michigan State when they come to town I think it's next Thursday or Friday, then you're going to be 4-1 during that 5-game stretch, and you're fine. So what? You're 16-4 in the Big Ten, and you didn't win it. That's some years 16-4 wins. 16-4 is probably not going to win this year. They had a shot at 17-3. That was about it. But when they lost the 4th game, that pretty much took them out of the running, I think. And Coach was right. He said that pretty much. He said, there's no way Michigan's losing 4 games. They've only got 5 left, and they're going to go 4-1 at the worst, probably. So they'll probably win out. Going to be 19-1. They are a juggernaut. Their numbers say they're a juggernaut, and they're playing like it, and they deserve that win the other night against Purdue. Can Purdue bounce back? Because Purdue played pretty good in that game, despite what a lot of people thought. They really did. Following the contest with Indiana, Purdue closes its homestand against number 15 Michigan State on Thursday, February 26th. So it is next Thursday. This is the 223rd meeting between the two schools, Indiana and Purdue. All right. And the second straight season after falling in Bloomington in late January, the Boilermakers are looking to split the season series. The series itself, 223rd, Purdue's up 128-94. 128-94. So hang your banners, but against Purdue, you can't beat them. That's basically it. You're sub 500 against Purdue. Hey, hang all your banners. That's great. Maybe someday Purdue gets one. But as of right now, when you play Purdue head-to-head, Purdue beats you, generally speaking. All right. I'm sure those years that the banners were hung that they were really solid, great teams, and they probably beat Purdue those years. We would have to go back and look at all the numbers, but that's now 40 years ago. 40 years ago was the last time Indiana won anything when it came to the national championship in basketball. So, and they were known as a blue blood. And I think a lot of people think they are not anymore because it's been so long and they haven't done anything. Just like Purdue's trying to get to that level. They're not a blue blood, but they're an up and comer, right? But they haven't won the big one yet. And when they do that, they'll start to look at them a little bit differently. And the opposite is happening with Indiana. They were a blue blood and people are thinking that maybe not anymore, right? Okay, so the Boilermakers have won 16 of the last 22 contests dating back to 2013-14. However, Indiana is 5-4 in against the Boilermakers in the last 9 meetings. All right, 5-4. So they have the head-to-head since 21-22. And Purdue's been really good during that stretch. That shows how teams get up for rivalries a lot more, right? Purdue will be facing Indiana as a ranked team for the 11th straight meeting in Mackey Arena. Purdue is 17-4 as a ranked team against the Hoosiers, and Purdue has won 9 of the last 10 meetings against Indiana in Mackey Arena. So there you go. It is the home cooking for both teams. Indiana hasn't scored 80 points against Purdue in a span of 21 games, dating to February 16th. Wow, 2013. That's a long time ago. Yet they've still won plenty of games, right? Purdue, of course, looking to rebound from their 5th loss of the season against number 1 Michigan, which was what was that? Friday night. No, that was what is today? I'm losing track. Oh, it was Tuesday night. All right. Indiana is one of the 3 Big Ten home and home series the Boilermakers have this season. According to bracketmatrix.com, Purdue is the only Big Ten team to face 3 likely NCAA tournament teams in its 2 plays: Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin. All 3 are expected to go to the tournament, and they're the only team to have to play them 6 times. Now, the good news is that's not Michigan and Michigan State or Nebraska or, the guys that are up there right now, but these are still good teams. Wisconsin's going to be quite the battle that last game of the season on senior night. I think they call that senior night. And Purdue is one of just 5 teams in America with at least 8 quad 1 victories. The others would be Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida. So, and when I look at numbers, boy, you start looking at all the numbers and the stats and where things were at certain parts of the season for your national champion, and Purdue comes up on every list. They're in that list, despite the fact they're, in the 7th, 8th spot or just in the top 10 right there. The numbers say that this is a good team. And that's what happens when you play tough schedules. How many times 20 years ago did Izzo play one of the toughest schedules in the country and he had 7, 8 losses and would come out and go to the Final Four? Or come out and, make a run into the grade 8 or even win the national championship when they won that year, right? You play tough teams so that you're going to be ready for March Madness and getting into April. And now that's what their focus is. Mostly they're going to try to win these last games. Don't get me wrong. Every game right in front of you. Sometimes this is a good thing because you can't win the Big Ten, right? Or probably not, barring catastrophe, right? So you focus on each game, which is exactly what you need to do in the NCAA tournament. Focus on the game in front of you. Don't worry about the one after that because you got to get through the first one first. And if you don't, your season's over. So, all right. Purdue is 19-5 in the first 3 quads, the second most wins in the first 3 quads nationally. Only Michigan and UConn have more. And Purdue's 2 quad 4 games are tied for the fewest in the country. Michigan, Alabama, and Boise State. And that goes to show you how tough the schedule they are playing. I believe it's ranked number 6 in the country for toughness. All right. So of Purdue's remaining 5 games, 2 of them are currently quad 1s. Michigan State and Ohio State, and the others right on the cusp of being quad 1. That's Indiana's on 34th, Wisconsin's 35th, and that's because they're coming here. And Northwestern 77th. When they come here, they have to be a higher numbered team to be considered into quad 1. And then when you go there, I think it's 75th. Maybe it's 50th. I'm not sure. When they come here, it's got to be 30th, I think, is what the number is. But I could be wrong on those. We have to look that up to get your quad 1s out of that. Purdue continues to play one of America's toughest schedules, owning the 6th. I was right. The 6th most difficult schedule in America. In the last 3 seasons, Purdue's strength of schedule has ranked 6th, 8th, and 2nd in the country. That year that was 2nd, that's the year they went to the national championship that year. All right. Purdue ranks in the top 30 nationally in assist turnover ratio. They are number 1. Offensive efficiency, number 2. Assists per game, number 3. Turnovers per game, 10th. Field goal percentage, 21st, despite an awful shooting night the other night. Scoring margins, they're still 21st. Rebound margins, they're 21st. 3-point percentage, they're 26th. And defensive efficiency is 27th. So still a lot of good numbers. And all those are good for national champions right now. The defense, we need to tighten the defense up, but it's still good enough to win a national championship based on past histories of who the national champions were. All right. Purdue has been ranked in 74 straight AP top 25 polls and the second longest streak in the country behind only Houston. All right. Wow. That's pretty cool. So there's a lot of numbers there popping up A lot of things happening tonight. It's going to be an exciting game. I know a lot of people. I know some people that work there. I know some people that be going to the game. So it's going to be a big, big game tonight, the rivalry game against Indiana. And might I remind you, this is not football. So now you're coming to our house to play basketball. We'll see what happens. But hey, 3 games lost this year against some top teams. All right. So let's check out some quick news, and I'll hit the weather again, and I'll get you out of here for the day. There's a new judge taking office in West Lafayette City Court. Let's see, what is his name? Mayor Aaron Easter swore in Judge Elliot McInnes as the new West Lafayette City Court judge. It seems like I've seen that guy somewhere before. All right, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I know him, maybe I don't know him. Uh, good for him. That's awesome. Senator Ron Alting also brings a resolution honoring Abby Williams and Libby German to the State House there. And that's for them on that front. It's going to honor them. It'll be something nice for them. Here's something in the community. You don't know what you don't know. Local schools hosting parent social media education night, and it will be on what night is it? How do they not show me what night it is? Maybe it was in the audio portion of it. Oh, there we go. February 24th at 6 p.m. It will take place at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy, 2201 South 18th Street. So if you are interested in finding out ways to get that phone out of your kid's hand and maybe get them to focus a little more on other things, that might be something you would want to go to. All right, so let me pop over to Star City where they got their community stuff, because I saw a couple two new things on there today. The Lafayette Schools Health Department and to host social media education night for parents. That's the one we just talked about, right? So that's Tuesday at 6 p.m. on that over there at the Academy, the Greater Lafayette Academy. Let's hit the other one here. A community calendar for Precious Paws Clinic Franciscan Stroke Support Group is on. It's going to happen. You're going to. It says here, keep your dog or cat healthy and up to date on their vaccines. For more information, you just got to call or visit their website, forpreciouspaws.org. And the 4 is an actual number 4 to keep that in your mind. For Precious Paws Low Cost Spay and Neuter Clinic at 1474 Industrial Drive, Lafayette, on Wednesdays from 10 to 4. That's every week, it says. And on Saturdays, 8 to 2. That's the second of each month. So the second Saturday of each month. If you need to get your dogs spayed or neutered and you want to take care of it, walk-in low-cost vaccine clinic also involved with that. Now, what else is going on? The community calendar says United Way Peer Union is happening. It's beginning February 26th. The United Way of Lafayette is holding peer union counseling classes. Well, what are those? The United Way of Lafayette. This program is designed to help people better understand the support available here in our community. Each week covers a different area of need, from basic needs, housing, health services, and legal financial help. Classes are Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. That's starting February 26th is the sign-up deadline on that for peer union counseling classes. You can go to uwlafayette.org, uwlafayette.org/peer union counseling if you're wanting to get into the peer union counseling classes that they are offering. You got to get in there by February 26th. So you got about a week, a little less than a week to get in there and do that. Looks like Ray's in here. Ray, I got a problem this morning. I'll let him know. I see he's in there. We're talking about sports. I just talked about Purdue for about 10 minutes. I talked weather for about 20. For some reason, I can't show you my screen for some reason today. I don't know why that is, but I've been trying, and nothing comes up. So it makes it hard to talk about weather when you can't show people stuff. But basically, Ray, since maybe you missed a little bit of it, we had our warmth. Now we're going through cold. Then we're going to get warm again the end of next week, and then we're going to get cold right after that for 4 or 5 days on a 4 or 5 day pattern, or 3 to 5 days, somewhere in there. And no big systems coming into our near future for rain, snow, anything along those lines. Just a lot of ups and downs with the temperatures. Very windy today, all day. There is a wind advisory in effect until 6 p.m. tonight. The wind advisory for Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, all the surrounding areas. Current winds are, let's see, where are they? Current winds out the airport are being reported sustained at 25 miles an hour out of the west, southwest, and you have unrestricted visibilities out there. It is cloudy. It's going to stay cloudy. We could pop a flurry or two out of there, but we're not expecting anything. and maybe some very light flurries to light snow overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. So as you head into church, it might be a pretty look to just a little light dusting on the ground is the way it looks right now, at least on that front weather-wise. Purdue has the big game tonight, of course, coming in Indiana, not Illinois. Both are rivalries, though, aren't they? Are they not? And they're going to be hosting Indiana, and Indiana has a losing record against Purdue, and probably the only losing record I'll bet Indiana has against any team of where they've played more than 10 or 20 games, right? And Purdue leads the series 128-94. The game is on tonight at 8 o'clock. All right, Ray says he loves the show. I know, just even though you got to look at me, right, Ray? That's the problem, right? uh, Overall, right now, Purdue's 21-5. They're 11-4 in the Big Ten. They are tied for second or third. I'm not sure how that's working at the moment. I have to go back and look at the numbers there. They are still ranked number 7, and a lot of the metric numbers, which are all settling in now that they've had a big season to look at, still shows Purdue somewhere as a 2 or 3 seed because of the tough record they have played. They've played the 6th toughest record in the country. So 3 of their losses have come to teams in the top 10. That's something to be considered. There was some of these strong teams, and remember, Izzo set that up years and years ago. I remember that he would play the toughest schedules. They come in with 6, 7 losses and go right to the Final Four or something along those lines. And it seems like Painter has done that over the last 10 years, setting up tough schedules against the guys, against tough teams, so that they would be ready in March for those games. Doesn't always work out. Remember, one year, number 1, we lost, but the next year we went all the way to the finals. So you can see how it works. It is a possibility. It's going to be a great game at 8 o'clock tonight. It is on Fox. Again, I know a few friends that are going to be working the game, and I know a few friends that are probably going to the game. And the Purdue Global Radio Network, if you're out and about and you can't watch TV, which is on Fox again, Rob Blackman and Bobby Rydell will be on the radio. I always like to say that because Bobby was a friend of my son's when we were kids. They played baseball together. They had fun. He's a good kid. Not a kid. He's a young man. Probably has a family. I wouldn't surprise me. Who knows the statistics on Bobby Rydell? Let me know how he's doing with his life. I love enjoy listening to him and remembering when he was in high school, that kind of thing. So it was pretty cool. So that's it for his front there. All right. What else did we cover? That was the basketball with the big game tonight. Who do you think's going to win, Ray? Ray, who do you think is going to win on this? I'll give Ray a second or two for him to get into the chat and see what's going on. I'll bet Ray is going for Purdue. Yes. Don't throw things at Ray when you see him on Sunday, no matter what happens in the game, whether he's rooting for Indiana or Purdue. I believe Ray is a Purdue fan, I believe. We only have one big Indiana fan, and that's Mark at church, and we love Mark. And they won the football championship, and we were all there with him, actually. All of his friends at church were there rooting Indiana on because I would hope. Yes, I know there's always the rabid fans who won't do it, but I would hope that most Purdue fans would root Indiana on for a national championship, whether it's basketball or football, and Indiana fans would root Purdue on for a national championship in the game, even though it's not their team, because it's a state of Indiana thing. Ball State gets in, Notre Dame, Valpo, something like that, Evansville. I would root for those teams too if they made it to the finals and were going on for a championship kind of thing. So, all right, so that's going to be it for right now. Since I can't show you anything. 32 degrees outside, cloudy skies, winds 25 miles an hour. Feels like 3 degrees outside. Going to be between 0 and 5 to 10, depending on where you're at for your wind chills all day today. So bundle up if you head out, and if you're going out to see something or do something. I myself am getting ready to go out and get some Diet Mountain Dew and try to relax a little day here. It's been a long couple weeks for me. I've had lots of I think I've had 10 different doctor's appointments just in the last 2 weeks. There's a couple more next week, and then there's some more in March I got to do. Lots of people checking things out, trying to figure out what can help me get through this chronic pain situation I'm in. And just being able to get on here and talk with some of you guys is a good thing. Makes me feel good because I get to talk weather, I get to talk sports, I get to see my friends on here. Kingdom Mindset's in there. My son's in there. Got to go check his website out or his YouTube pages at Kingdom Mindset. And Ray's in here. And it's just great to be able to talk to all you guys and to have my family so close around me. I feel blessed every single day, despite the physical problems that are struggling with and the pain. I feel blessed that my family is right here. I have all my friends, or most of them, here, and even the ones that are close to me too that aren't here. I'm in touch with on Facebook at times and get to talk with them and see some of them. I think we're going to see some of them this summer ourselves. Hopefully, we're going to get a chance to drop down and see Bill and Susan this year, and some of my other friends here and there. But I feel blessed that I'm able to do this and just be able to talk and be around and have something to do to get through a lot of this time frames that are so tough at times. And I'm blessed because I know Jesus Christ. That's where it is, and that's where it's at. Craig told me start writing music, start writing things down, start talking about it, and you'll feel better. He was right. It's not perfect ending, but it sure makes me feel good when I'm talking to you guys or I'm listening to some music, trying to work on some music and make a song that we might play at church or may end up on my other YouTube page eventually. That kind of stuff is enjoyable. And my friends being around me and supporting me, Roger and Ray, and I can't name enough. Steve's out there, and Billy, and Jordan, and just everybody. Mark, we talked about Mark, all the guys, Rob, all the guys. I can't name all of you. I wish I could. But it's you guys that support me and keep me moving forward along with my family. And the number one person, of course, Jesus Christ, does that. And every day when I study something or look at something or I watch a video on somebody who spoke about Jesus somewhere, I get a smile on my face, realizing how blessed I really am, despite many problems, as all of us have gone through. Mine happen to be just personal to me. You have your own, and lean on God. Don't be afraid to put your head on his shoulder and walk yourself through the problems that you have, because depression is tough. It's hard to get through. For me, it's a tough thing. Chronic pain for me. Maybe you're battling something else. Maybe it's an addiction, and we want to get you through that. Get a hold of somebody at church. Find somebody that can help you out, and we'll get you through those problems and get you back on the right track. And I believe that right track is led by one man named Jesus. Is that a song in school? Jesus. All right. Y'all have a blessed weekend. We'll see you again Monday morning. And that's it for Lafayette, or Let's Talk Lafayette.